YOLO, amazing people of the tube. So I want to give you guys the tools to better visualize the dimension above us, right? Now, I want you guys to suspend everything they've pretty much told you about 1D, 2D, 3D, fourth dimension, all this, right? Now, they told us, for example, two dimension is like a string, an infinitely thin string, right? I personally don't believe 1D even exists, but 2D is a string. But if you were to draw it on a piece of paper, you would notice that, like space, it can't just be a line. You can draw lines in all different angles on a piece of paper, right? And 2D isn't necessarily infinitely thin. Now imagine, like, we're living on this ball of rock, right? Our depth is essentially 7 miles high to the highest peak of some mountain, and 7 miles deep into the deepest part of the ocean. So you could go up something, or you could go underground, right? We're able to move up and down. We're also able to move forward and backwards. So imagine this to be two dimension. The second dimension that we're living in. We're actually living in the second dimension. Just imagine that. And third would be time attached to it. And the only difference that makes the importance of time in regards to our life is, like, the reason why I'm here and not at that light is a matter of time, right? If I fast forward, I'd be at that light. Now, if you jump into the next dimension, which is essentially our world we're living in, except time isn't attached, it's not linear, right? Suddenly things like quantum entanglement, being able to teleport from one place to another, or what appears to be teleportation, right? To be able to move through, like, I want to be at that light, I'm at that light instantaneously, right? It's also the concept of, like, when, like, I forgot the guy's name, whatever's cat, right? The cat in the box, when they're like, the cat's not alive nor dead until you look at it. Well, that only matters when time is involved, because you open the box, the cat is deceased, right? Or you open the box and it's alive. It's a matter of time, which I always thought is a stupid fucking experiment, because it's like you either kill the cat or you let the cat go, right? Like, poor cat. So going back to, our world without time being a constraint, it makes all these things that we've heard of in terms of quantum theories and all this other stuff really possible. Now, they told us, right, the fourth dimension, or like the one above us, is like a tesseract, which is like a cube inside a cube, except both cubes are the same size. Well, once time is out of the equation, you can have something like that. You can have two objects taking up the same space, essentially, right? Because everything is time-based, and once time is gone, it makes it a lot more easier for you to visualize these concepts of just being able to vanish here and appear somewhere else, right? Like two things being entangled together in two complete separate parts of the world, doing the same exact thing. You change one, it changes the other, right? Like, these things suddenly become possible. Concepts like when people talk about UFOs, how they, like, just appear to just extraordinarily fast go from one place to another, like it's impossible. Yeah, well, if they're operating on a different physics, it is possible, right? That's why I said, like, I want you guys to kind of suspend your belief or whatever we've been taught. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a bonus. I'm gonna give you guys is this concept of the multiverse, I had a dream that explained to me what the multiverse was. So in this dream, I'm floating to the edge of our universe. And when I get to the edge of our universe, the edge is like a veil. And essentially our universe is like a massive bubble. And I realized the face of that bubble was actually the second dimension. So I actually made a hole in I tore that fabric and I started floating to the other side. And as I was going through the other side, I instantly realized, like, all this knowledge came of, I'm leaving my universe and I'm actually entering a completely different universe. And as that hole started to close and I was on the other side, as it was closing, all my memories, all my knowledge of this universe, the law, like the physical laws, how things are and aren't, all that I started to instantly forget. And I instantly started to remember these new laws of this new universe I was in, which operated completely differently. Like, gravity was different, the laws of physics were there, just everything about it is different. And I realized that universes are like soap bubbles. All of them are attached to each other like soap bubbles. Each one vast, unique, and different compared to the other one, right? And I realized the face of the universe is actually the second dimension. So, yeah, that was my bonus. That's what my dream taught me, and told me. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope I made it a little easier for you guys to perceive and visualize the next dimension and how things operate, just by simplifying it that we live in the second dimension, and to jump to the third is not this incredible feat of mental gymnastics, right? Like, it's very similar to, like, no one could really visualize how the universe or how the planets were rotating until some guy pulled a piece of cloth and threw a bowling ball in the middle and then spun other balls around it, and everybody instantly was like, oh yeah, it makes sense, right? So a lot of information, man, once you simplify it, it makes sense. We've had teachers like that, right, in our lives, where they took something so complex and made it so simple you instantly got it. And then there are the ones that, like, they took something so simple and could not explain it to you if their life depended on it, and you never got it. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Solo Yolo Bolo, you guys have a wonderful night.